my notes very funny.
We are now recording. So, Marla,
So-
over to you for the recap.
Last time on D&D, Lothar seemed very disgusted with his former self. Past Lothar got annoyed with with current Lothar, although at this point we didn't know that we don't look like ourselves, and attacks him with some drunken punches or a few. Current Lothar is trying to give past Lothar a proper discourse to set him on the right path. Current Lothar lets past Lothar stumble away eventually. We ask about past Lothar at the vault. He had a check that was confiscated as a forgery. We give the vault clerk the check that we got from Pope Varney for the scroll case. I don't remember if we got any money for it. I guess we did, because this is the vault.
250 gold
This is one of
pieces, I
two.
think.
There we go. I don't know who's keeping that, but
It was given to
250 gold.
one of the dwarfs, if I remember.
It was Tobin.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Oh, I should add that.
Yeah, you should. There you go. As we traverse the area, we find a mirror. And in the mirror, Ariel herself saw a human of dark skin and that was around 23 years old. The dwarves see different versions of themselves, and Sir Lothar sees a bulky red-headed man. The thing is, we don't see each other as these figures, so it's only like sort of a glamour for the outside world. We ask about the forgery check that past Lothar had, claiming that it would make sense for for us to have it from an adventuring guild perspective. We say that we work with the adventuring guild. The establishment refuses to give us the paperwork in the name of whatever. It just doesn't end up in our pockets. But because Lothar held on to it for a while, he is able to remember the handwriting sample and that it was in the name of Edmund Estate for 150 gold pieces. After that, we head off and head towards the docks. There's this huge elevator that we use to get down like some 200 feet to this pretty cliff face. We admire the cliff face and heavy bedrock. And we look at when we arrive at the base of the elevator, we see a bustling harbor, but no market is currently open. There's not a lot of people about, and there's not really very much for us to do. So we end up going back up the elevator, and in the elevator we run into Dan Gleeballs again, who kind of starts to explain a little more about this temporal hijacking that we're doing, that we're not very sure about. We interact with a black powder. I think it's Dan that gives us that black powder. It makes us feel really itchy, and we see ourselves as the same, but it seems Dan Gleeball is a little bit less shocked at our normal appearances. He contacts Hokos in Sylvan. Ariel understands his message. He's just checking in with him. They seem to have this IOU situation regarding all of us. Dan says that he has questions for us. He browses the book that we didn't see anything in, basically, and he does the spoilers thing again. But we do manage to kind of peek at the book, and we see the writing notation, which is BR Battle of the Rumination, and there are several dates there. So apparently the first page of the book is BR 96. Then we briefly saw BR 99, and when we returned from the Feywild, it was BR 124. And Dan insists that we need to remember what to tell him when we next see him, which is great because we have no idea what that means. He even said, like, okay, so this is the next time you see me. What do you need to tell me? And we were like, we have no freaking clue. But we'll probably get the hang of seeing Dan eventually. For now, it's still very weird. We finish our eerie little elevator ride, and then we follow Dan through the city tiers. He shows the spin, and everybody lets him through. We reach the top tier of the city with the large administrative buildings and the cathedral. Dan leads us in. We give some fake names for ourselves. It was actually kind of a blunder on Lothar's case. He was like kind of forgot that we have people there. But in any case, we give fake names. And we are led through corridors. This large door with golden furnishes opens, and Baira answers the door. She was glamored as a female-looking person, but as soon as Dan comes in, she greets him as an old friend and drops the human guise and appears as her usual half-orc self. There's a human tiefling too in the room. Apparently, they talk about this staff that was damaged. They spent years searching for the parts, and we basically find this kind of half-remade important staff that we are told is the staff of Azuf, which apparently banished the gods on the day of the Battle of Rumination. And it can be reformed, but Byra wants to find as many pieces of it as possible to prevent destroying the world in a second time over. Varney isn't into that. He comes in eventually, and we are asked if we are also rift walkers, which I guess is what Dan is. The temperature changes in the room as Pope Varney comes in. He's very welcoming to Byra and Dan initially. They have this very friendly exchange, but as soon as it becomes clear that Varney does want to reform the staff, Byra's body language really changes, and they kind of engage in a battle. They eventually start really entering combat, while Dan turns over, gives us the staff, and sends us off. And the next scene is we are outside the citadel. The sea air fills our noses, and we are on the outside of the citadel all together in the woods. And we have recovered this broken staff that must not reach Varney, I guess. But that's it.
As always, a wonderfully thorough recounting of the last session. Does
I take
anybody
notes.
else have anything they'd like to add? I don't think much was left out other than the Lothar meets Lothar in great detail.
For,
But
for some reason, Dan entrusted the staff to me.
True.
from Voldreth's perspective, yes, he was the chosen one to receive the ball.
We should probably return this.
Indeed. So, as said, you all begin coming to at various rates, but within 5 minutes you've all roused, gained your balance once more. But it is pitch black. A full moon soars, dominating the sky overhead, with clear skies. Stars speckled across, painting a wonderfully clear evening. As we pan down to the party, a day of remembrance of the events just gone, as an 8-hour time freezing spell has faded upon yourselves. At this point, your bodies are once again returned to your control. A little bit stiff as one of you, frozen in a couple of weird positions with your arms and a bit of an ache, but pins and needles will pass. What is it? The party.
Will they stop teleporting us around?
Oh, I don't feel as young as I used to. Oh, God, me back. Oh, they give a walking stick.
Gosh, are you okay? You need a massage.
Oh, it's only me age. I'll get there. Oh, there we go. Oh, good as new.
You really need to drink something for your voice.
It's me age, young one. Don't worry about it. I'm okay.
Yeah. Sure you are.
Where the bloody ruckus are we?
Probably. We found ourselves outside the Golden Citadel, right?
Yes, so you're on sort of the perimeter of the tree line, which is the woods leading just to the north, where you effectively were in recent story. However, you can see through sort of the beginning of the tree line, the citadel before you.
Is Dan still around?
As you look around, make perception checks, everyone.
I had to.
So Lothar is occupied by other matters on his mind.
It's fine. So
As
am I.
Ariel is giving a massage to Voldreth, the
Yeah.
dwarf is resolving a few pins and needles, a little bit of a crackache, and Voldreth, you sort of just see a shooting star go over high. It keeps your attention Torbran, you see this, however, you catch in its trail just a shimmer on the horizon. Something more, something a little bit unnerving, like a ripple in the sky, in the blackness of the sky above. As we are joined by a hand. However, there is no
Okay,
sign of
going.
dangly balls. There is no sign of the half-orc or nor the tiefling. And a little bit to your relief, no sign of Varney either.
Does Voldred still have the staff?
He does indeed.
Oh my god. That's a lot of responsibility right there. I'm happy I'm not the one to hold it.
It's my new walking stick.
To describe the staff, it is a wooden, almost like oak-coloured, three-quarter staff at this point, with fractured marks of a reassembling process all the way through. Hundreds of pieces the staff has been fractured into previously, with wonderfully golden filigree carvings all the way through. And you can see, upon closer inspection, various sets of runes etched in at different intervals.
So we are out of our timeline. Probably about to be hunted by one of the last players on this plane who holds any amount of actual power. We will not be able to go there, and he points to the citadel. And I'm exactly not sure, not certain as to where we should go next. And we hold in our hands the kind of object that could bring about the kind of cataclysm we just saw. Does that sound about right?
I
Yeah.
suppose you're right.
And we also don't know exactly what we look like. Maybe we should fetch a mirror at the next occasion. It would help.
Is there a pond, a puddle conveniently nearby?
Everybody.
Oh, this is becoming a catastrophe of a stream with the various.
Catastrophe.
No, you didn't just do that.
I love our little stain on the nose.
One cat's seen the other, but the other's not seen the other one. Oh no. Unfortunately, as with that 25, there are no puddles. It's been a clear sky. There's not been rainfall for a while in this area. However, you, Torbran, would recall a small little, almost like inland little lake as opposed to anything, not particularly long, not that far from here, as you've previously hunted here in the future.
Which direction would that lake be?
Away from the citadel,
Right.
into the
All right.
forests. Not particularly
Well,
a lake, it's more like a big pond.
Sure. I suppose if we don't want to stay here and looking at Lothar, if you're not so keen on staying near the citadel, which I'm not a
How long
city lad myself anyway.
How long do you think the most powerful man in the city is going to take before he sends a whole bunch of search parties after us?
just we don't know exactly what time we're in though.
Let's assume we're in the worst possible one.
Why would we be in the worst possible one that brought us here?
Because with our luck, that's exactly where we would be.
So you're saying that apocalypse world from 4 years in the
Oh
future?
no, not that one. That one.
Yeah. I
Actually,
mean,
you know what? Say what you want. Say what you want about that apocalypse timeline. It was not a problem for us to solve.
Well, it seems like it is now.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go stock up on some water, I suppose. And
Why don't we burn the staff?
I don't think exposing that thing to fire would be wise.
Have you tried?
Sorry, I need Lothar to make an intelligence, a wisdom roll, because that was a wise statement for a paladin. As that was a character-driven experience question.
Yeah. Let's see. A wisdom roll.
Yeah, above 12, and I'll let it stand. But other than that, that was sure.
14. Okay,
Ah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Well, what about breaking it into pieces so we, if one of us gets caught, then we don't lose the
Well,
entire thing.
they've tried breaking it into pieces before, and they were just able to reforge it. I think that's the whole point.
There's something about you're missing a piece, you just plonk into some other rift and find it. So we don't know where we are. I mean, we do know where we are, which is not a good place to be. We don't know when we are.
Well,
Uh,
since I've been here 4 years from now, I have a vague idea where we should be going. Let's start by moving towards this little pond. It's also on the way to Meyerfall. Might not be a bad place to check
I
out.
would not go near the Feywilds with that thing with us.
Who knows if that portal's even there?
They might have found it there to begin with. I don't think they made it. Not from what was his name? Halfus person told us,
Mm-hmm.
who owes us money 4 years from now. What does everybody owe us money when they're dead, or in some indeterminate point in the future, or in another world?
Let's not talk about owing people money. Let's get moving. Also,
Great. Also,
it
we need
might
to
not-
find a way.
we should probably just find a place away from here and just set camp first of all.
Yeah.
Not that keen on traveling too far at night.
Mm. So lead the way.
And with a short
Alright.
jaunt, the party makes its way deeper out of sight into the undergrowth of the northern forest line, just curtailing the northern walls of the Golden Keep. You come across what could be mistaken as a modern-day swimming pool, but a small collection of gathered water in a small clearing. Doesn't look particularly deep, though murky. There's a little bit of foliage resting upon the top, natural leaves of the fauna nearby. As the air begins to cool, as the peak of night begins to rise, as you begin to set up camp around the outskirts of this small body of water, refreshing your canteens and beginning to purify water over a small fire, I'd imagine. What else does the party?
I would look in the water to see how I look like. See what I look like.
A very grass muddied hair of ball of red greets you. As you pull that back, you realize your guise is still up.
Okay. Well, we still look like the kind of people the Pope would be looking for. So if this is a spell, one thing we need to do is get rid of it as soon as
I got
possible.
my cloak, and I will just sort of put my hood for my cloak up.
Mm-hmm. You
Not
still look
sure.
like a.
I would like to see if there's any tracks of animals passing through this area towards the pond present.
Sure, make a survival roll. Let's see.
25.
It's you tonight. Oh, goodness me. So
Oh
25.
goodness.
You would see several sets of tracks. Small, probably squirrel-like creatures. a pair of elongated set of tracks that you would recognize to be some kind of wild rabbit, and a small, strange track that catches your attention as you sort of peruse around towards the lake, of like a drag marking appearing very close to the perimeter of the lake and then traveling in towards the trees. It's about 3 feet wide, and it seems to be slightly snaked, slightly curled, and it has various groove markings towards the sides of the track.
As in something was dragged out of the water into the woods?
It looked like drag marks. There were no discernible footprints to accompany it.
Hmm. As in like dragging something or someone?
With a 25,
Or
you're probably identifying this as like a tail mark.
oh, right, okay. Hmm. This might also be the drinking spot of something decently large. We should probably keep an eye out. I will, in the location where that drag mark enters the edge of the trees, I will put up a snare.
Okay.
It will last for 8 hours.
Okay.
And after doing so, I will. Are you rolling for the DC?
I'm just making a note of it. That's all. That was supposed to be a private roll, but I left on public
Fair enough.
messaging, so never mind. You know nothing.
I
Your
know
trap
nothing.
is set.
What are you talking about?
Exactly.
Nothing. With
Yeah.
that done, I will just come back to the fire and we should probably get a watch ordered for tonight. I don't mind going first. I'll get some fishing done. See if I can catch anything.
Going last works for me.
It sounds like a plan.
I will look through the book to see if I can see if there's any year I can see in the book. So like the BR, like whatever year.
So you would notice that after Dan gave you the book, the pages that were flicked through are still visible.
Can we look at it, see if there's any information we're missing?
You can.
I'll have a look.
So as you look through,
I picture all of our portraits around this tiny little book. You know, like all of us.
so make a investigation check for me, Valdreth, to see what key details you discern
Oh,
Oh no.
on a 5. I think for now you sort of flick through a couple of chapter headers. Does anyone remember the name of the chapter of the elevation of the lift ride? Anyone write that down? I'll refer back to it. I was really happy with that name. I need to listen back to that recording, get it again. It's a really
were you
long
looking
chapter
for?
name. The name that was written in the book, which was the chapter about the lift ride with dangly balls.
I didn't write that
Don't
down.
worry.
Sorry.
Is it the hi, I'm Dan, this is the next time you're gonna see me, what do you tell me, proceed with the meeting?
No, so that is on one of the pages,
Right, okay.
but it's scribbled onto the back page of a chapter that was entitled.
it was like elevator ride with disproportionate momentum.
It was very very either that or very close. Disproportionate momentum, I think.
That's why I wrote it down anyway.
That's really really good. I'm glad you got that. So following that, there is the expected fire. A dwarf's return home. And you have the mirror. And then the pages begin once again, remaining blank. And unfortunately, with a 5, I think we'll we'll say that sort of gets you thinking more than anything else.
Oh, I get to go home.
Or Torbern. I mean, you're dwarves. You're basically from the same spot, right?
There's not much left of home.
Speaking of, the people Dan hung around with, they said that the headpiece for the staff was found in the Dominion lands, right?
They did, yes.
Yep.
As much as I'm not too keen on going back home.
Oh, don't get me started on that.
I think the Iron Dominion might be the only place we might be able to actually find allies. The Silver Knights are no friends of the Golden Order, even though they're not straight up enemies. They grudgingly respect each other. They don't see eye to eye on plenty of issues.
Mm.
So I suggest we seek passage across the sea. Not by our ship, no. Those are probably going to be controlled by Pope Varney's men.
We might have a shot if we can get this illusion garbage off our faces.
We need to find somebody, some capable spellcaster who can dispel it. But we won't be able to find that by going back into the city. That's for sure.
DM, would I have known of any potential powerful spellcaster in Port Kiln?
You would know many spellcasters in Port Kiln, though their proficiencies would be gnomic artificers and dwarven craftsmanship. Enchanters of
Not
weapons and items, less so of fireball
illusion.
swirling sorcerers.
I'll take 10 minutes to cast Detect Magic to see if the glamour on us is of some magical shape or if
Sure.
it's something else.
Well, I don't think
It
we're
takes
gonna
10
find
minutes.
such magicians in Port Kiln, but I'll have some connections who might be able to at least get us further along. But that would still leave us with getting to Port Kiln. Anyway, we should probably get some rest for today.
Agreed.
After eight
What's
eight
the
hours
order we're
standing.
sleeping in?
I'm keeping watch first.
Okay. I'll go second then.
I'll go third then.
Just before you hit the hay, Ariel, when you complete your cast of Detect Magic, there
Mhm.
is like a blinding light around each of you that is
Okay.
obscuring your vision of each other, effectively.
Oh, great.
Indicating an incredibly potent magic bestowed upon all of you.
Mhm.
Amongst illuminating any magical items that the group may be carrying. The only
Yeah.
thing that is giving off a very surprisingly faint glow of magic, like a trace, is Voldreth's new walking stick. Like a trace, it's
Okay.
magic.
Mhm.
All right.
So, On your first watch,
I would prepare a makeshift fishing rod, and I will just try to catch a fish during
Sure
my
enough.
first 2 hours.
Nice.
let's goodness me, what on earth would a fishing rod be?
Survival, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just trying not to have him roll the same thing constantly.
Survival with dexterity.
Make your survival. Go for it. Or in yes, we'll have survival. Okay, with a 22, you fashion yourself a somewhat makeshift. Actually, give me a performance roll for the quality
Sure.
of craftsmanship of the fishing rod.
Sure. 13.
13. Not your best work. You think it'll be functional. What do you use as line?
I will tie together some. I will tie together some of the sort of the long grassy, strandy fibers around the area.
Okay, so you grab a couple of bits of vegetation and foliage, you
Yes.
sharpen it together and stitch it through. So you have this rather elongated, knotted, every sort of
Yes.
like 4 inches or so bits of grass
Yeah.
that you cast away. And what do you have as your hook?
Worms.
Would there be any bones on the ground here, like fish bones or?
With the 25-year-old previously, you could definitely find some kind of debris or something of the elk. If you're looking for like decayed remains or something, you could find a piece or two. So as you cast off your fishing with a 22, the surface of the water bobs occasionally, only interrupted by the recent displacement of your bone fishing pole. You don't see anything. Half an hour goes by. The cold air is condensing around you. A small little mist is forming around the edges of the lake, but not protruding too far. And as you're sort of watching the moon overhead, and just before you think it's about now to clock off and change shifts, you suddenly feel a tug on your fishing rod. You try and reel it in.
I will give it a small little jerk first, just to catch the hook into whatever's biting it.
Okay. Then I'll have you roll a contested strength check, please, as you attempt to reel this in as you feel the hook snag and take hold.
Athletic, or just raw strength?
Just raw strength in this case, I think. This is like an unarmed combat contestation as opposed to an
Oh,
athlete.
that's a net one.
Oh no.
On a nat one. As you think, oh, right, lunch, gonna look forward to this. And as you just, in a single motion, pull, your line shatters.
No.
I should have bought a rod back in Barkill when I had the chance. Well, guess I'll wake up. Who was second? Was it Voldrath?
I was
Guess
third.
Ariel then.
I
Sure.
was second, but it's fine.
Oh, well, maybe Ariel can get us something. I will.
Yeah, sure.
Oh shit,
That's so
Ariel!
high up on our list of priorities.
I failed to get us breakfast. I'd like some food in the morning. Good luck. And I will just sort of, I'll just drop the conversation there, move over to my bedroll, and I'll just sort of grumbling fall asleep.
The disgruntled
Ariel
and
is probably
defeated
gonna
dwarf.
just gonna yawn a little, look around. She's gonna approach the lake and gaze in the lake as well. And she's gonna try to dispel her guise to
Okay.
look as a as a changeling and looking in the mirror? Does it work?
I'm just checking something here. I'm trying to remember the level that he cast it on you. What spell slot level do you use the Dispel Magic at?
The spell magic.
Yeah.
When you cast the spell magic, normally it's a 3rd level spell.
Yes, so what spell level are you casting it at?
I'm not casting it at any spell level. I'm trying to use my feature as a changeling
I
to
see,
turn
I
back into
see.
my normal self,
Oh, I see.
into my
Okay.
changeling form.
In which case, oh God. Okay. Roll me a
You
d.
know.
Roll. I've now understood what you're trying to do. Roll me a d20.
Okay. Let me do it from the interface. 1d20. 11.
You successfully transform yourself to how you envisaged. And as you look in the mirror, your guise is dispelled in doing so.
Cool. Okay, then I'm gonna do another thing that I didn't do so far, but that is part of my character. I'm going to try to cast Sending to the Fairy Queen, and I'll tell her that my lady, I'm not sure how long it's been since we've spoken because I'm not exactly sure what time this is, but I my my party has come into the possession of the staff of Azuf, or what remains of it. How can I handle this? And that's about it because it's only 25 words.
The familiar, soft, motherly-like voice echoes around your mind, and you almost have that warm feeling, that calming, that I'm not seeing you, but it's like familiarity. The voice from home reaches back, and she says, "This is indeed a great burden. I am so sorry to hear of this news. My door is always welcome." And that's all you
Okay.
hear back,
Okay.
as it's loosely translated
And
between your language of choice.
yeah, she'll focus on those positive feelings for a while, and think she's gonna consider to tell the party that this is an alternative as well, that we can try to seek the guidance of an archfey. But beyond that, she's just going to look into the lake again, and she's going to try to use her changeling thing again. She's going to try to transform into, like, she's not smart enough to do the whole I should go back to the Ariel thing so that it will be the whatever. So she'll just go into what she saw in the lake. What is that? Because she can do this at will.
Oh, so you want to
Another
turn
d20.
into your actual guise?
She wants to turn into she wants to turn into the guys she saw in the mirror, basically, directly. She named that figure Farai, the
Sure.
dark skinned 23-year-old.
Sure. So, as you channel, you focus, you watch as your face begins to morph and change, and the color cast over you like a slow autofill on Adobe Photoshop as it just trickles down and completes
Yeah,
the look of your guys,
cool.
named
Farai.
Farai.
For now. Farai the unfamous.
Farai the unfamous.
That's what they put down in the Citadel.
Indeed. The unfamous for now. As it looks back at you think, not a bad job.
He's like, okay, cool. And other than this, she's just gonna look around with her completely fucked up perception to see if there's anything coming for the rest of the shift.
Make a perception check for me.
8.
With an 8. Without much of a care, and as you say, almost like an afterthought before you begin to wake Voldreth, it was like, perhaps I should just look around. Yes, that's what I'll do. That's all fine. You
Yeah.
rouse Voldreth from his sleep.
Your turn. Then she's gonna go to bed.
Oh, I'm awake.
Do I see the fishing rod on the floor that got made, the makeshift one?
Sure. With no line. Although part of a line that is snapped halfway along it.
Can I try and make a line?
Sure, make a performance check for me as you see the tufts of grass and are inspired to copy the same approach. 13. You think it's a good enough attempt?
I'll throw it in the pond and just start whistling away.
With no bait?
He's not that smart.
Okay. So floating on the top of the surface of the water is this grass line. Just moving with the wind. Make a perception check for me as you are just watching out in the distance.
Ooh.
A 20. Occasionally you hear the echoing hoot of an owl, a small branch, twig snap, shuffling of small critters in this very much alive forest as the undergrowth comes alive at night with small entities. Nothing of concern, nothing that you actually see the shape of or silhouettes, but you just hear, you know they're there. And on a 20, you would notice that the line is slowly unraveling itself from the fish pole. As you look across the water, it is no longer floating on top, but is slowly being dragged down from the surface.
I'm gonna pull on it.
Make a contested strength roll, please.
I just roll strength for that, right?
Yep.
Oh, sick.
For a 2. This time, as you give it a yoink, it's a 2, I suppose. On a 2, you don't lose the fishing pole. But the line does go once again and snaps at the very same point at which you begin joining and mending the original. Unfortunately, no fish for supper this evening.
He just sighs to himself. I'm guessing my shift's over now.
Unless there's anything else you wish to do.
No, he sighs to himself, puts the. He's just going to throw the stick in the water at this point.
It floats on the surface for a little bit. And I'll say, just as you are beginning to rouse Solothar, you start your conversation of wake up. And as you're facing each other, you just hear this displacement of a large amount of water as you look out to the body of the pond, and the fishing rod is missing, and the ripples are cascading out from the center of the lake to where you threw the fishing pole.
Torbern isn't going to like that.
He might catch it for Bricky.
Yeah, if we stay long enough, which I won't suggest, go to sleep.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Take it from here. And he lies down next to the fire, draws his sword, absent-mindedly starts to clean it up, oil the blade, and does his best to look around in the darkness, keeping an ear out for anything that might be approaching.
Make a perception roll for me.
Sarlot
Hello.
are actually doing the thing we're supposed to do. Oh,
On a 17. On a 17, you're vigilant, though you do begin to enjoy the golden horizon that dawn brings, as the sky begins to illuminate itself, and what a crystal clear sky it is indeed. And through the tree line, the tops of the trees being kissed in golden sun. It's not too bad of a day to start. The occasional scurrying nearby, occasional blob in the body of the lake that something was aroused. Something was awoken recently that is paying attention, though lying beneath the surface. Otherwise, uneventful from your perspective.
He's going to start a small fire, get some water boiling in the kettle in case Torben wants to make a broth or something, or for tea otherwise, before everybody else wakes up.
Very well. As the party comes to on daybreak, you can all mark off a long rest on your character sheet. And Torbran, you are woken to the crackling of a small fire nearby.
Did we catch anything tonight?
No, it was something ate your fishing pole.
What?
Yeah. I've met fishermen in my day. Knowing you is probably custom built.
It was a shite fishing pole anyway.
Ah, well, at least there's that. Guess you've got a reason to get a good one now, don't you?
I wish I got a good one back when I was in Port Ilm. I would have had
Speaking
breakfast.
of, well, I'll
Speak-
leave the cooking to you. All I know how to make is broth and stew.
Ariel will produce the potato from her rucksack and give it to Torbran.
I have an
one
onion.
potato that manifests at dawn, okay?
I have a partly
It's the
eaten
one-
onion.
Yes.
I assume the trap's still empty.
As you make your way over, you find the trap has been indeed sprung.
No.
What happened? Oh my God.
I'm guessing a cat found something it shouldn't.
Probably.
The cat found the trap.
Cat found the trap. Did the cat find the trap, Samantha? Assume it's okay. Everything okay?
Yeah, it's fine. I caught it in time. It didn't. There was a wine glass I left on one of the side tables. And
Cats be catting.
we gave Max a very small amount of beer once, and he was like completely wobbly from second tour. Like, okay, this isn't happening again.
Meanwhile, my cat is like so cute.
Ah,
Yeah, so cute.
swaddled up.
all cats are cute.
Yes.
Well, the cats and prince, indeed. As the trap lays bare, triggered and broken, you get the impression it was early on into the night.
Shite.
Now, well,
You need to teach us how to check these.
So you're going to make something in that water, or should I start some tea?
I will try to hunt something if we want some meat.
We need to get going. We need to move. I don't like being this close to the citadel.
Don't
By the
underestimate
way,
a dwarven huntsmanship.
I don't.
uh,
I underestimate our allowance of time.
You can
I
wait
really
10
have no
minutes.
idea what time we're in, but I do want to tell you that I managed to contact my lady over the night, and she said that her door is always opened. If you want something that's at least on the same power level as Pope Varney, she is an archfey.
Can you find out whether we're in our proper timeline to begin with? Is it
She
something you can
didn't
ask her?
I can try next time.
I mean, ask her if there's another of you contacting her recently.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I will.
Riggs, which animal tracks did I spot last night? Of which animals? You mentioned rabbit.
Bunnies.
You got the. You would have had. So last night there was evidence of owls, squirrels, rabbits, some kind of amphibious or aquatic creature you didn't discern, and this trap that you made has just been like plowed through. So something big.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the signs of tracks you've seen recently.
I
Uh,
will.
I would
Mhm.
say you've probably also come across now, doing a thorough walk around this, like a couple of, you can see a couple like perhaps abandoned or perhaps active bird nests in a couple of the trees, but you'd have
Ooh.
to climb a few to inspect.
Hmm. Sure, I'll climb a tree with a nest in.
Athletics check for me, big boy.
Athletics. 22.
As the
Ooh.
surprisingly nimble and dexterous, chunky dwarf, almost like a panther, just leaps up a tree, out of sight for a moment. A couple of the branches.
By the way,
Go on.
sorry to interrupt this, but it would have happened this morning. She looks the same to the party.
Mhm.
Okay, because it's not the same kind of magic.
I'm not following you. So you dispelled the
So
guise that was on you, but you now look
I
exactly like
dispelled
the
the guys
guise.
that was on me. Yeah, and before they were seeing Ariel, they were in the
Oh, I
blue
see. Sorry,
elf.
no, then I'm
Yeah,
mistaken. Right. So then, yes, indeed. So now
that's important.
Ariel now has. I suppose sort of as Ariel late rises from the party whilst Torben is up a tree.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
You
wake
two
up late. I
see
wake up late
a
or something.
strange.
She's covered up in blankets.
You see a strange looking dark-skinned human who is wrapped up in Ariel's blankets, whilst the dwarf is foraging up a tree. Make an investigation check for me, Torben, whilst you're doing that.
Does that usually happen when you sleep?
That's an L.
What do you mean? Blink, blink. Wow.
You look. You're not blue.
I look like I look in the mirror.
Oh, so that's what you look like in a mirror. Oh.
It depends. But look, she'll go to the lake and she'll point. And see? Same face.
Okay. Um. But
I'm not sure in the lake they see my face. That's another trick that we're not sure of.
I'm not
She
sure how
sees
any
the
of
same
this
face.
works. Lothar will go and look.
Okay. Your Friar the Unfamous is standing before you in her natural glory, but as you look into the lake, you see back your red-headed self standing next to you is the same image of Ariel. as Fry. You
I
seem
really
to
could
have
use the mount.
successfully removed this guy.
Nice.
Oh, morning. Why are we looking in the lake? I'll have a look.
Well, at least if we get caught, we know who we're sending away with the staff of impending doom.
Oh man.
I
Aww.
found some eggs. Breakfast.
Eggs.
As
I
Torben
will
shouts
rush.
back,
I will rush back down to the fire. It's like,
as you see a strange-looking human female stood next to Lothar.
who the blimey?
It's Ariel.
It's just
That's
me.
that's apparently how everybody else sees her. So she managed to pull
See,
something out of her
Lothar, this is what
undersleeve.
happens when you don't eat enough food.
Do I look like I don't eat enough?
So
In
there's
either of
strong.
my guises.
There's plenty of magic on these guises. It's quite strong. I was just able to dispel it last night.
Ah, that's that
Well,
itchy feeling that I've been feeling all over.
Can you do it to the rest of
Probably.
us?
No, it's me only, I'm afraid. But we can
Well,
try to find a mage or something who's more strong in this.
in the
It's
meantime, let's hope. Hey, no, it's not us. See, the ones you're looking for are all traveling with. Not this one.
During this conversation, I will start on a
it's
little
very possible
stew.
that nobody's looking for us yet. Like, what year is this?
Always assume the worst. Always assume the worst.
That would make me go
Assume,
mad. I come from
assume
the
they,
Feywild.
assume
That's
they
why you
already
have
know.
no joy in life, you. You gotta
Assume
live.
a scout. Assume a scout saw us last night and is on his way to fetch more hunting parties. So let's be eating and on our way as soon as possible.
Okay. I'm just gonna say Voldreth make a perception roll and Torben make a sleight of hand roll. The other two are busy in conversation. Make a fair enough. Make a performance roll for your cooking of breakfast this morning with the ingredients of a couple of eggs, a partly eaten onion, a potato, and some mushrooms.
Was that a
That's like
performance
some of
roll
the
that
best
we would do
ingredients
for
we've
that?
had so far. So
Was it performance?
sorry.
I can't remember what it was.
I believe it was wisdom. We made some sort of separate skill for it.
Yes. Your
Wouldn't
cooking.
it be a
Your
tool
cooking.
thing?
Oh, it was his cooking roll. I'm trying to remember what we agreed.
I have it in my notes.
Why didn't you put it in tools?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
You
one.
can do this by just demonstrating.
Horn.
Oh,
Ariel starts to sing a song on her horn while the cooking is going on.
right. So I already have proficiency with cook utensils. Wait, can't I just use? Right, it's just a cook utensil. Oh, that's
A
it.
natural 20. Okay. All right.
Wow.
So, God, what even would make it? This is like a French onion soup. With a bit of umami of underlying smell. Any extra seasoning or just as is, straight up?
I'll put some rock salt in it.
All right.
Rock salt.
Some rock salt.
Nice.
As served up to all of you, there is just enough for one portion each. Does anyone refuse to partake, or do you all enjoy a welcomed breakfast?
Breakfast.
I'll
Okay.
chow down.
Okay. I would like everybody to make a Constitution saving throw, please. Including Torben. But Torben, can you roll on your table, please?
Yes.
2. So
that would be
you
+1 to
all
strength
have
save.
+1 to strength saves for, was it the next 8 hours, I think?
I
Or was
believe
it
just
day?
next long rest. Yeah.
Next long rest, yes. Okay. So
Yeah.
for the next long rest, all of you have +1 to strength saving throws. Did anybody roll underneath a 10?
Yes, me.
Okay. Okay. Ariel, you succeed, though you do feel that umami taste is a bit overpowering. At first, it was a wonderful aroma, then it became a bit, almost like really
Salty.
earthy. Well, really salty and really earthy. To the dwarves, salty and earthy, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah.
And to the human stomach, so Lothar, unfortunately, I'm actually going to say you don't get that +1 save because you don't keep the meal down, unfortunately.
Ugh.
This is discarded as quick as it goes in.
What the hell did you put in this?
For the time being, for a unconfirmed amount of time, you all have disadvantage on perception using smell.
Oh.
There is also another negative effect, however, I will tell you when it comes to light. If it does. We shall see. No, the breakfast is a bit of a hit
I
and miss for the
recommend
party.
I just recommend, guys, on the second sheet of our characters in the bio, there's a section for additional features and traits. I recommend you just write cooking with like a tall, big fat font, and then specify these things because we'll always have them in this campaign.
Sure.
Where?
In the bio page,
Oh, yeah.
there's a section called additional features and traits.
Yeah.
As the bird song is kicking in, and the natural woodland livelihood of creatures and small things that call this their home brings you all to your senses after breakfast. It's time for you to decide what to do with your day.
We need to get moving. Torbran, you know this area well enough, I assume. Waldreth, have you been here before?
Not I know of. It's
We
all
need to
new
get
to me.
We need to get to some sort of a port. I don't know. My guess would be a smuggler's bay or something. We need to get across the sea. Off this island.
How would I have reached this island, Riggs? I assume an airship straight to the Citadel.
It would either have been through airship, although if you came directly from Port Kiln, it would have just been through the harbour at the base of the Citadel, and then taken the Great Elevator up.
Right.
Hmm.
Well, since the Citadel. Could we sneak into the Citadel, into the harbor?
So if you wish to look in the AoA Maps channel in Discord, there is various pictures of ships scattered throughout. Those denote docks
Mm.
in the world, and there's not a great deal many of them.
Oh shit.
If we go back into the keep, it's only a matter of time before we're seized.
Well, I don't intend to stay long, but I don't know on what interval.
Do you honestly think they won't be monitoring the docks for somebody looking to go out?
Well, would you think they would think us stupid enough to go back to the city? It might just be genius.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Assume your enemy's cunning, but also be ready in case he's as dumb as a fish walking into a net. Or, swimming into a net.
Well, Ariel looks different now.
Oh, yeah. It's just
can
you
use-
see,
We
it
can
was
use her
just
as
that other
scout.
person you guys are looking for. I don't know.
Well, Ariel looks different to you, but she looks exactly the same to everybody else.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
But We need to get as far away from the keep as possible. Get to the shoreline. Maybe find the smuggler's ship. Maybe. There have to be smugglers. There is absolutely no way the Golden Keep doesn't have smuggled merchandise in.
Question:
about-
with my age, would I know about like teleportation circles in the world or anything like that?
You would know of the magic's existence. You would know there are few places in the world where it operates. Make an Arcana roll for me. See how much you can drag up for it. Arcana 13. Okay. You would know that there's certainly one in the Golden Keep. You would know there's one in the capital of. Get my notes here. Bear with me. So, you know there would be one in Steadfast. There would be one rumored to be in the Echoes of Aloran. There is one over in Orkrop. And you would also know the Golden Keep one. So you know there's a few scattered around the world, but you don't know if you know all of them. And it is the kind of thing that very few people know, and it's only with your contacts and your age of having communicated with people, maybe got one or two friends a little bit more inebriated and coaxed a few little bits of insights out of them over the years.
Make an age check.
So
What
where?
if we use magic?
Please don't tell me you're gonna do more teleportation.
Well, then we would have to use the docks.
Okay. And where would we be able to use magic to teleport?
In the keep.
Oh, of course. Let's go to the one other place that's probably even more heavily guarded than the docks. That's
You know, while we're at it, we might as well give the staff back. Not our
exactly.
problem anyway, right?
Surely
Snarl
there
outside.
must be one more in the Golden Peninsula somewhere.
Hmm.
There can't just be one.
Maybe.
I have a question. I notice the echoes of Aloran look quite scattered. How exactly do you travel through there?
It is mostly submerged now with the rise of the sea level.
Mhm.
That would be either the ability to cross water, however that is possible.
I was wondering if I was wondering if the Feywild is a little bit more like entries through the Feywild that are more present there.
You've certainly done a lot of toing and froing, delving into the remains of the Echoes of Lauren. As that has been sort of like certainly at this point in the timeline, this is where you're currently like jumping between realms in that sort of vicinity area. There is lots of the very strong anchored connection between Eloran and the Fey realm. So you could jump out across random aisles in different positions, and you have a map in your head, sort of like that door in this wardrobe leads to this island over here, etc. But you're not sort of like
Okay.
all knowing of all of them.
Yeah.
It's a bit more unique to Aloran to have that kind of bleeding between realms.
Well, you know what I'm gonna say. We can go to Mirefall and then jump through the echoes of Aloran.
You know a pathway?
Not like the back of my hand, but I have been there before. You've seen how it is. The places bleed into each other. There are portals, many portals. But it
Are
would be
you
just
com-
as unstable as Dan leading us around.
Are you confident enough you can lead us through there?
I'm
Would
more
your
worried
queen?
about what you guys will do there, because if we randomly ask for honey
We
and
ask
end
her.
up indebted to very powerful creatures, I would suggest we don't do that.
Fine. I'll keep my mouth shut.
Well, it's as good a plan as any, and just as much a shot in the dark. Well, actually, less of a shot in the dark.
There's one more I can propose. I have magic that can keep me looking different. Disguise self and such. But you guys would need to get disguises yourselves, and we could go to the harbor and simply get the ship that way.
Where would we be able to find disguises?
Like helmets,
Well, we
new
can start by
clothes.
shaving your hair off.
By this point, I'm pretty sure Pope Varney gave his guards precise indications as to how we walk, how we smell, how each thread in my supposed red beard looks. It's
I don't I
exceptionally
don't know
rich.
what to I don't know what to tell you. I'm pretty sure that if he knew all of that about us, he would have already found us last night.
Assume the worst. Assume he already has.
We're
What's the
still here
saying?
in the middle of a
Keep your friends
forest.
close and keep your enemies closer.
Something like that. And Lothar stops and just absent-mindedly kicks a twig into the fire.
Couldn't Ariel get into the Citadel by herself and scout to see if there's even wanted posters or anything going on?
That sounds like a
Not
good
look,
idea.
yeah, not looking like that though. You need a different disguise.
That's not a problem.
Well, we either head for the shoreline, go back into the keep, or go into the wilds. These are our three options.
The keep is a thing we can try pretty easily. We're close to the Golden Keep still. Might at least give it a shot. Because if we can just walk freely into the keep with some basic disguises, that's probably the quickest way out of here.
And if they're looking for us,
Then
if they're
we
actively looking, what happens if we get stopped by a random patrol? What happens if we get stopped by a guard post as we try to enter the docks? What happens when we get stopped and, have to pay for passage on an airship?
I have 270 gold on me.
Oh, we can use the circle straight to the Iron Dominion.
The circle will not be available to us. Pretty sure it's only kept for high dignitaries and under very close watch. There is no way we're sneaking in through that circle.
What if this is a large shot? What if we put an explosive at what was the bank called? The heavy bag. We
Sure, let's
blow
have
the
more.
bank up as a distraction.
Let's have more people looking for us. Let's have the. You know what? Let's have Pope Varney bring in whatever armies he has around the keep, swarm the keep with them to find the people that blew up the keep, and then, lo and behold, they also have the staff he's looking for.
Well, the heavy bag wasn't at the keep. We blow up a bank, create a ruckus, all the guards will go to the bank, we sneak to the
And then,
teleportation circle.
that's not how it works. All the guards are going to swarm every last street, tavern, and round up every person who looks even slightly suspicious.
Wait, the book said expected fire. No, just.
I remember the stories about Farron burning
Oh my
down.
god.
It did not help the last seneschal on his quest in any way.
So what did you suggest, eh?
I suggest we make for the shoreline, look for smugglers, see if we can actually find a boat across. An actual sea boat. Sure, it's risky. But in my opinion, it would be less risky than going back into the keep. Or we could have Ariel drag us through the Feywilds with
Again.
you two keeping your hands to yourselves
Well,
and not
Hmm.
asking for anything from anyone.
I don't remember any of that. I just got my pickaxe. I was quite happy.
I have a little theory. In the book, in that book that Volrath has, the time we spend in the Feywilds was like 25 surface years. What if we go into the Feywilds, we bring the staff, we cross the future 4-year point, we will have prevented the disaster.
I'm not sure exactly what causes the disaster to begin with right now. A bunch of people made a very good point that that staff is not to be rebuilt. And we have a very, very powerful person intent on rebuilding it.
So we
Not
take the very powerful staff into the Fey realm, where
where
time
we
is weird.
and that brings up another problem. There are plenty of powerful beings in the Feywilds who will want that staff, if indeed it is the staff we want. Particularly a very angry hag that wants to kill the gods.
Does she?
Isn't that what her friend told us?
But will the hag know that? Because we are in the past. No clue how that works in the Fey realm. Or we could take the vanilla route and just get a smuggler's boat.
But where would smugglers be?
It's probably some at the docks.
At the Golden Keep docks?
There's always a way of
What
smuggling
about other
things in.
docks? Any
I-
other docks?
So the only notable large domiciles in this peninsula that you're on, you've got the Golden Keep, you've got the City of Graving, you have the old barracks of the Overlook Hold, you have the ruined city of Farrenfall, and you have a similar sized Mirefall like creek called the Creek. Though you would note that Mirefall is not on this map for a reason. So could there be other small towns doing bits and pieces, possibly out in the world, either formed or unheard of or up to mischievous reasons? But in terms of docks, this is the only large harbour on the island. However, the shallows around Graving would be an alternative route to get down to sea level unless you just intended to take the plunge off an edge.
I'm still for giving the Golden Keep a try with Ariel. We're close by. It's worth a shot. In the worst
Ariel, can you
case,
go?
we lose a point a year.
So we all wear heavy armor. It wouldn't be so strange for us to wear helmets as well. That's all I'm saying.
A soldier wearing his helmet when he doesn't need to is immediately suspicious.
But let's
Not
say
for
that
dwarves, it's not.
you're guarding me. It would be fine.
If I were, I'd know the value of breathing properly when I can.
You're so negative. You shoot down all of our ideas. This isn't productive.
I'm just pointing out
Changing your
every
title to Lothar the Optimist.
Like I said,
Lothar, let's give the golden keep a try, and I'll promise I won't
Listen,
put
I
any more
suggest
mortal pelts into the next two.
I head in there first. I'll change my appearance, and I will just sort of scout the market, see about getting some new clothes, some new items. I don't have any
that's a
money
good
though.
point.
Uh, but just enough to keep to get some basic supplies and guises together, and then we can meet back here at the edge of the forest and see. I'll also try to see if I can find out what time we're in. So, yeah.
Fair enough.
Sounds like a plan. What would
Try to
something
keep.
like? What would a set of clothing roughly cost? Like commoner's clothing.
A couple of silver,
Are we
a bit
even?
more
I
extravagant, a
think
couple of
traveling
gold.
clothes are 15 gold.
Yeah, but are we even sure anything will change about the way we look if we change our clothes? This isn't our regular appearance in anyway. Otherwise, I would probably be shaving right now. But if I
So
shave my
there,
regular beard, does this fake one go off?
try it. That's how I got through mine. But
He's
there,
going to.
I will say there is quite a heavy magical effect on all of you. It's stronger than what's emanating from the staff right now.
Uh, yeah, he's going to take Ariel's hint, go to the body of water, pull out his, a knife, and slowly start scraping the beard off.
As you feel
Or-
your real beard leaving your skin, the slight you were blondie white hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The white freckles scatter on the surface of the pond as your red ginger beard also begins to leave your face.
Okay.
It's an interactive illusion.
And he slowly starts shaving the beard off completely. Does his armor look the same as? Does his glamorized armor look the same as the
Your
regular
so
one?
to clarify at this point, the glam is just your personal body. Your armor is the same. Your equipment is the same.
Okay. In that case, he's going to shave completely, remove the surcoat, so it's just a coat of plates over a chainmail
Mhm.
armor, and also shave his head.
Okay. With a what looks to have been an unfortunate explosion of a small blondish bird that litters the surface of this pond. The freshly shaven, rotund knight now stand before you, 5 years younger in appearance.
Nice. Nice.
That's one Mass
So,
Effect we could have used for breakfast.
It happened in session.
remind me never to inquire as to what you add in our food. Uh, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I can go with Ariel in the city. We can at least try.
It's probably best if Voldrath and I stay behind. They'd probably be looking for 2 dwarves and 2 non-dwarves.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure that he gave. I'm just going to hope he didn't have the foresight to think I'd shave.
Here, you're gonna need this, and I'll hand Ariel 15 gold pieces.
Nice. For traveling
Or
clothes?
wait, don't you have the 20 yourself? We all get 20.
I have like 9 in my
Did you spread
inventory.
it? Did you spread it around? I don't remember.
No, we got 20 each for the canister that we returned from the future, and then we got 270 at the bank for something else. Or
It's
250.
possible I just didn't update my
Mm-hmm.
sheet.
Same.
I don't
I
remember
had
what
20.
exactly we got the 250 for though.
250 was for the slip that we gave Varney back his scroll case thingy that he had in the future. with
Oh,
his
that was the
petrified
250.
hand.
Yes, yeah.
That
Wasn't
was the
that 20?
250.
Okay.
Now, what was
20 was
the
something
20?
else. I don't remember what.
Right, okay.
I'll have to
Right,
listen
so
back.
you have- yeah, well, sure.
TM has not got it written down.
Right, so each of you should have at least 20, which is
Okay,
probably plenty
so
to send you
we can buy clothes from
into the
that.
keep for now. I'll keep the gold safe.
Oh, I still had 50
Nice.
on my character sheet, so it should be with the extra 20, it should be a 70.
You rich bastard.
Well, he did sell off his estate at one point.
I say while I'm hoarding 270 gold.
That's a weekend away with a dwarf.
Hey. All right, off you go.
Okay, so we can afford some clothes. I might also get like armor parts if they look interesting or different, so that they don't have the same silhouette. Maybe some big pauldrons or something for the dwarves.
Hmm.
Voldrath, we should probably accompany them to at least somewhat close to the gate and just
Close enough.
stay in the
Yeah.
forest.
Keep watch. See if we get out in time.
Stay off the path.
I recommend Voldred does not come with us because he's holding on to that item, and if
Yeah, not
some
inside the city, but like
spell,
we will be
yeah, but
waiting out.
even approaching is dangerous because there are spells such as locate object,
Mhm.
which depend on the
Mm,
range.
I guess we're
And
staying here then.
I assume. Let's hope he didn't. Let's hope his scouts didn't find us during the night. Let's hope parties aren't out looking for us just yet. Let's hope there isn't a scout in the bush watching us and writing down our all plans so we can report it to Varney.
Well, considering my snare trap got decimated last night.
Yeah,
Not
let's assume that
wide
wasn't.
open.
Let's hope that wasn't the scout. So shall we go, Ariel, before I poke even more holes
Yeah.
in this plan of ours?
No, it's fine. I've stopped listening to you like 5 minutes ago. Let's go.
Very well. With a couple of hours of walking, the party returns to the Golden Keep still early in the morning, probably about 10 o'clock-ish or so. As the sun is cresting overhead, illuminating the wonders of the walls itself, creating almost like a mirrored effect, just shining back outwards. As you approach the northern portcullis, there's two guards on duty, seemingly casually leant up against the wall, in a laissez-faire attitude, waving people on by, and seem to be in conversation with themselves as opposed to stopping and starting every individual that goes on by. As you approach, there's a small queue of people going in and out. You wait your turn. As you post up,
Before we'll go, she'll do her glamour, but she's going to add like some somatic looking components. These guys don't know enough about magic to figure out that she's not casting a spell, so she's just gonna pretend she's casting a spell and do a glamour on herself to appear as something different. I don't even know what. Let me think. Um,
and you're doing this before you
some
approach the
sort
city.
of yeah. Before
Okay,
I approach the
yep.
city, she'll just look like a sun elf of some kind, like blonde hair, long, beautiful, whatever.
Okay.
Blue eyes, normal fair skin, the kind of look.
I will say, with that appearance, as you're posting up, the two guards definitely would be paying attention to you. It's from their perspective, it's not very common to see a military elf in the
Yeah,
area. Uh,
it's fine.
a concerned look, but one is definitely infatuated with something else in his eye, and the other is more like, what's she doing here? As neither have the confidence to approach you.
Okay.
You walk on into the city. General bustling attitude of a city. People walking by. All different types. Humanoid, dwarf, the occasional gnome. Everything that you would have expected previously in the Golden Keep seems in order here. And it is a little bit strange for you for knowing what may fall upon this city, the task at hand, and also just the almost innocence and unknowing and naivety that walks by you, not knowing of any of it. It just bears on your mind for a moment. Though, as your cheerful self, you bring yourself back to the matter at hand and make your way to the fourth tier, which is just the first one up, to where you would know is a grand bazaar of all types of tailoring and fabrics and wonderful gowns and dresses and the likes that you've probably been to once or twice before, though not on name terms with any proprietors.
One suspicious looking elf and another suspicious looking bald, tall person entering the city.
I'll have you both
Yeah,
make
but the
perception checks as
second.
you do walk through, please.
Da, 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 da.
Where is it?
On an 11, I'll say out of the corner of your eye as you're sort of passing through the fifth tier, just before you get to the gatehouse, you know very much so there is a small chapel in the tier of in the tier 5 of the Golden Keep. And just out of the corner of your eye, you see a disgruntled, unbathed sloth of a man that you recognize, who is making his way slowly and almost as quick as you see him, enters into the chapel, looking very much disheveled.
Well, at least we know we're not back in our own time.
Hmm. Do you remember?
Oh, this moment? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Is it
don't.
before or after you gave him the solid talk?
Well, I didn't go there because anybody gave me the talk. I went there because I got fed up with something in my own life. I'd always been, ever since I was a teenager, had this affinity for divine magic of some sort. I always brushed it off. Everybody wields magic like mushrooms nowadays. But I went in there looking to see if maybe there was some sort of purpose for me in that.
Mm.
I found my answers, cryptic as they were. I hope he finds them as well.
I see.
I wonder what my
Then
Liz is
yes.
doing.
If you need to check on someone, I'm sure there's time for that.
She's not my Liz. She's his. Mine is probably alone back in my timeline, at the mercy of some nobleman that caught shine to her. I try not to dwell on it because there's nothing I can do about it.
Maybe if everything goes well, she won't end up in that situation.
No.
I
Like I
don't
said,
think everything is preordained. I know we're messing with time and all that, but I don't believe in fate.
I'm not going to pretend I understand how all of this time bit works. All I know is whatever it is we're doing might prevent a cataclysm that brings either this world or mine to a very, very swift and explosive end. So, one step at a time, without thinking about too many distractions.
As you make your
But
way
I do.
through. Okay.
I still wish I could have offered her the life I promised her at one point.
I think you might still be able to.
No.
Who knows?
I've
Maybe when our adventure is over, everything will just go back to the way it was.
or we'll be dead. All the world ended. Or the Golden Keep leveled anyway. See, there's only a handful of ways in which things can go right, and a mountain of ways in which they can go wrong.
You're such a pessimist.
No, so that's the word people use now. No,
It
I'm
doesn't.
just a horrible.
It won't.
I'm
It
just a
won't work
horrible.
well with us. Like apparently we are going to be companions for a long time. I do not function well with so much negativity. If I had threaded through the Feywild thinking, oh my God, what kind of hag am I going to meet in the next room? Constantly, I would have lost my mind. And you're on the way to doing that.
Oh, I've been doing this all my life. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
You
But we'll
grow
talk
accustomed.
about that more later. Anyway, right. So at the bazaar, we're gonna purchase some clothes, some items, like we said we will. She's just trying to usher the conversation away, especially since she can't really have it openly in such in a space such as this. It would be too weird. So yeah.
Sure. I would say with after you pass through the gatehouse, the gold cloaks just leave you be, and you make on way towards the bazaar. There's various options, opportunities. You could get the raw materials, you could find a tailor, you could find a dressmaker, you could find an armor smith. What are you particularly looking for?
So like I said, for the dwarves, I want to get them some different armor pieces, especially the bigger parts, like the pauldron, maybe something around the waist, just something to sort of change the silhouette of their shape a little bit, so that from far away they don't look like they're wearing the same armor.
Okay.
I also want to get helmets just in case we can use them for the three of them. I don't need it because I can glamour myself.
I already have my ornate one.
Yeah, but yeah, sure, that's fine.
I haven't been wearing it.
Yeah, true. Okay. And also traveling clothes for all four of us that are different patterns, but like whatever's available on the rack already. I don't want to place a special order.
Sure. I
Just
will
things that
say
will
then
fit us.
you probably find 3 traveling cloaks. They probably set you back
Okay.
about 15 gold each.
Okay.
They are in varying colors. You get a couple of different colors. You can have a blue one, a red one, and a green one. They are very fine embroidery, and the
I have a question. Does the red one resemble the one that she picked up from the Feywild?
no, it's more of a that was like
Okay.
a deep red. This is more like a very bright
Uh-huh.
red.
Okay.
Each of these cloaks would have a knitted in hood as well, but which effectively draws your attention towards them to begin with. I would say in terms of the armor, there's a couple of very simple options you could go for, though one does stand out, definitely catches the inner childhood of Lothar's eye. Known as the shopkeep introduces them as the Skull Crusher pauldrons. Is just a set of plated armor, and you can just see there's like this skull-made indentation into the shoulder pads themselves, and it's just like got like a little bit of glow towards them, a little bit of decorative enchantment display in each of the eye sockets.
Cute.
Though if you're looking for something less edgy, there is simply plain epaulets that you can pick up as well, which will set you back 30 gold each for the set for the 2 pairs. So 60 gold in total
As
for those.
much as I'd like Arthas's armor, it's probably expensive.
The individual who's selling will say they'd be 500 gold per shoulder.
Hmm.
Oh, that's as much as full play to begin with.
I'm rich, but not that rich. I'll
As they
take the
explain,
plain
they
one.
are enchanted with magical proficiency.
Of course,
To say
I
the
have
least.
I
no
would
doubt.
expect no less.
You end up walking past a weapons shop as well that sort of just catches your eye. Solothars, there is a wonderful looking lance on there, and it catches your mind because for a moment you think it says something, though it looks to have been eroded on the pommel. But you can see, like, you can't make out the current name, but you can see, like, underneath it, as you sort of get close to it, it says handshake at the bottom.
Oh, he will ask how much he wants. The shopkeep wants for that antique.
There will be some bartering involved, but the individual would be trying to get you for about 350 gold pieces for this item.
Yeah, well, no way I can afford more than 20 gold for this, so.
He pulls you towards the sort of more wooden sticks and children's play weapons section of the store at that point.
Just
Those
that.
does express that, you know, there are some steel knives and fine short swords that he could offer for 30 or 40 gold.
He already has his own long sword, so.
Indeed. And was there anything else you were looking for in particular?
Just
I
travel
think just
clothes,
that,
right?
but also, I would listen to the town criers or look for any kind of indication of time that Ariel may know. I mean, she has been to the Golden Keep before. Just anything to tell us what the timeline is.
Sure.
Maybe news, maybe.
On the pedestal at which the town criers in the various circles of each of the tiers stand, there is sort of like a billboard of notice, and you can see at
Mhm.
the top it does say BR 96.
Okay. So we are near the start.
Still in the past, right?
Still in the past.
Um,
You get the strong indication you are just one day after where you got bounced back to.
Mm-hmm.
you're supposed to start writing the book this year.
Oh, well, I probably will. It
I
wouldn't be the
suggest
first
you
time I
start
kept it.
sooner than later. It looks really relevant.
It's a habit I picked from commanders of the order. They would log every daily activity.
I think
They
for
did.
clarity, this diary is like a summation. It's like in 96 this occurred, as opposed to the date is 96. But the events
okay.
indeed do start in this year of the book.
I said commanders of the order kept logs for most things. So did their captains. You know, if the philosophy is if you fail a battle or some measure or some, trap set for brigands, people who find remains of the disaster are going to know exactly where you failed and be able to correct it. And
Interesting concept.
before you ask, the Iron Dominion, for as much as they have a functional military theocracy, they're also a very pessimistic bunch. uh, Knight Captain Tancred would always say, assume you're going to lose every battle you go into. What do you do when that happens? What's your contingency? And what's your contingency to that contingency? In the end, it's saved our hides more often than not.
I don't mean to hurt you with this, but it really seems like that education led to the man we saw yesterday.
What you saw, the man you saw yesterday. Here's the thing. Let me ask you something, Ariel. What do you think of me? What do you really think of me? Of the men you've seen?
Um, pessimistic fighter who seems to be on searching for his path.
Now, here's the thing about me, Ariel. I am probably the single most wretched, evil, sadistic, and despicable person you have ever crossed words with. I found my path at one point. I am very much my father's son. Except there was a little part of me that recoiled from it. I'm not a good person, Ariel. I left the Dominion because I didn't fit there. I left the Dominion hoping that I would take the rotten name and the rotten reputation and the rotten personality my family left me to the grave, one way or another. And I couldn't even manage that because I still went crawling looking for some purpose. So I wasn't even strong enough to stick to my own convictions. That was the person you saw yesterday.
No, the person I saw yesterday was lost. You did find a way in the meantime. I'm not sure what happened during these few years, but you are less lost now.
It's dulled. What I found in that chapel, you know, I suppose today gave me some inkling of a purpose. The idea that perhaps whenever death does come and find me, I'm not going to be my father's wretched son and my mother's wretched offspring.
Do you know how often I think about my parents? Never. Literally never.
They're always there.
No, they're
I
not.
bury. Oh no, for me at least. I buried the both of them and they still haunt me to this day.
Hmm.
Because I carry bits of them
That's
in both of me.
that sounds like a heavy burden.
Well, I suppose there are worse. At the very least, I had food on my table. And the few early good years in which I could actually prove I was exactly my father's son. Trust me, you wouldn't have liked to met me when I was 14 or 15.
Okay. So anyway, did we get everything?
I hope so.
Do you want to take a quick dash towards the docks just to see if it would
Yeah, I was
be?
about to suggest that. Let's see how guarded they are.
Mm-hmm.
As you make your way
Um,
down to the docks themselves.
I don't want to go on the elevator, but I want to do everything until the elevator just to see how guarded the area is
Sure.
because the elevator itself seemed pretty quiet.
he is going to pay extra attention to all the guards he sees. He's going to try and see how inconspicuous they're trying to look.
The guards or you?
No, the guards. The guards.
How inconspicuous the guards are looking.
They're
They're,
how
they're not.
inconspicuous they're
They
trying.
stand there
How
in their uniform, standing out of the crowd with their gold cloaks. They are doing the bare
Yeah, but
opposite
are
of
there
inconspicuous.
are they trying to look like it's just business as usual?
Make an inside check.
Oh.
Insight. Where are you, Mr. Insight? I'm never good at insight checks.
By the way,
Except this one
the
time.
two dwarves that are role playing, you are making a wonderful script that I'm going to have you read out for the audio file
Yeah.
before we finish. So just bear that in mind.
Sure.
So with a 14 insight, you can you would get the inclination that as you approach the docks, it seems to be business as usual. No one has so much as turned you sort of other than a bit of a guard dreaming of a different scenario or setting or perhaps opportunity to perhaps introduce themselves to Ariel by your side, though everyone else is simply stood to attention, asking questions to answering questions of common folk as they are approached every now and again. You get the impression that you're not public enemy number one just yet. Though, as you approach towards the elevators, you can hear, as you can see, the elevator is itself now, there's a small checkpoint with a desk set up, and there are a couple of guards stood there, and you can see a captain of the guard is sat down with a ledger open, several coin purses out on the side, and you can see there is an itinerary. This is effectively a checking in or a customs declaration station before you were to go down. And you can see there's a handful of guards around him and several more on station. There's probably a dozen within sort of like 50 meters of each other stationed around here, but this is so far the highest concentration of guards you've seen so far. Other than that, nothing seems out of the ordinary.
Seems like Torbjorn was right. Maybe this might actually pay off. So what do you think? He makes sure there is nobody within earsight as when he actually talks, so he looks around.
Looks like we found the back.
Maybe. I was thinking, do we rush it now? Or do we let a few days pass? Stuff settles. There's advantages and disadvantages for both.
It's about at this point, there's a behind the two of you. As turning, you see an individual in very regal, glamorous wealth, dripping gold rings on fingers, necklace adorned, standing proud across his very muscular chest and torso. An individual with a great big grin and smile on his face. He says, my apologies, Your Highness, though I don't believe I've had the fortune of meeting you before. Can I welcome you here to our docks? And he's addressing this to you, Ariel.
Hello.
Oh, forgive me. Where are my manners? Duke Ernest. I'm here on one of the hierarchy up in the Golden Keep myself. I just thought, obviously, with a woman of such beauty and of elven heritage, that you must be of the nobility to be paying us of meager folk down here at the docks a visit. Is there anything I can help you with?
I'm just an entertainer. You see, I just came. I, I I just intend to perform in the Golden Keep. I am not of noble descent.
Oh, fantastic! One, make a deception check.
Yes.
And two, Lothar, make
Sir
an insight
Lothar.
check. I'm guessing. With a deception.
Insight.
Okay. 21 and an insight on 10. Okay. So, as he sort of bows and attempts to take your hand, give a bit of a kiss on the hand. Do you give or not?
Sure, whatever.
It
Unless
is-
I think he's like really slimy or something, but in which
Oh,
case I'll probably roll an insight.
he is being pompous and slimy, but he's not being offensive yet. This
Okay,
is
yeah, then
I'm trying
sure.
to win you over, the royal charade itself.
Oh yes, of course.
As he gives a low bow and says, "Well, could I perhaps escort you both up to, well, I assume you and your captain of the bodyguard or manservant?"
He would stand
He's
at
a guard.
attention.
Yes.
He would stand at attention the way a bodyguard would at this point.
I see. I got it. Your name? Perhaps I'm familiar with your heroic deeds, nonetheless, to be escorting such an important person across the seas.
Just a typical bodyguard scowl.
So silent. I like
No
it.
answer.
Fantastic. Right. I'm sure no one has heard of your deeds yet. Though I Perhaps I can escort you to the keep. I wasn't aware there was a performance this evening, though. I would truly look forward to seeing it.
It's not tonight. I'm just familiarizing myself with the space. I like to tell stories about the things I see. So I usually arrive early and then do a performance later on.
I see, I see. And when could I perhaps? And you said it's at the keep. What day would you be performing? I would like to reserve several tables.
I did. Oh, I did not reserve my date yet. But if you would like to help me, you can tell me which inn perhaps is the most interesting, which would
Oh,
welcome foreign travelers.
well, I see. The Golden Pear is, might I suggest, most humbly one of my own establishments up in the first tier.
Oh, I
I would have you
see.
know you would very much enjoy. Well, in fact, it would be my. In fact, it would be on the house if we could entertain you.
Oh, wow. Thank you. Uh,
Here is my
yes.
notoriety card, as he hands
Oh,
you a small
thank
piece of
you.
parchment.
How delightful. Thank you. Thank you.
Shall I book a room, 2 rooms, or perhaps for this evening?
What?
Well, if you were to join me at the Golden Pear, then perhaps we could get to know each other a bit better.
Yes, of course, it sounds lovely. I the thing is, when I travel, you know, I'm quite. I try to keep a low key. You know, I don't want to announce myself before an establishment is has accepted me, before I have decided what story I'm going to tell. You see, I just
Oh,
like a
you're a
bit of time
storyteller.
to.
Oh, forgive me. I thought you were more of
Yes,
a perform. I,
I can also sing if she produces
I
her horn.
see. I see. I see. Well, oh,
Yes.
fantastic. Right. Well, 2 rooms this evening. Fantastic. Shall we say dinner in the early evening, 7 o'clock?
I can't promise, but I will try my best to get there. If you do want to book us a room, I will try my best to get there.
No problem. No problem. Just ask for Derek when you check in.
Okay. Derek, is that your name?
Yes,
Derek Ernest?
Derek
I
Ernest.
see. Thank you.
At your
I
service,
am
and always.
I am I am Venarial. Give me a moment. The player is
Yep. Yep.
fucking up here. Venarial. Um. Okay, fine. Venarial Rorin. It sounds elven enough.
Venereal Ronin?
Lorin.
Lorin. Okay. As he
I'll
attempts
type it.
and
I'll
butchers the
type it in our player
pronunciation back to you.
DMs.
It's a bit
It's
awkward. He
fine.
says it like 3 or 4 times back, and then like you correct him, and he's like, "My Valerial, my apology." Oh, and he's like, sweat is like he realizes like this is going south quickly as he can't pronounce your name, and he's just like, please, I would look for, I very much look forward to seeing you this evening, and um,
I put
good day.
in our player DMs all the names she's gone for so far. So you have a list.
Absolutely, yes. So, as he very embarrassingly turns and attempts to sort of hold himself high, walk off, and Salothar, as you're paying attention to him, like as soon as he looks over his shoulder, thinks he's out of sight, he's just like, oh, God. It's just like an absolute wreck around the corner.
Oh my gosh.
Pick pretty elven lady,
You know,
gonna get some snobbery.
listen. No matter what the guys I pick, she's gonna still have 20 charisma. So I don't really have any way of escaping this. It was a problem with my sorcerer, my human sorcerer too. At one point, she was in a tavern and she was just trying to have a private conversation with her party, and a lot of men were just around being like, oh, "She's so beautiful." It was so annoying. She tried to spit fire at them and she failed. She failed her spell, whatever, and everybody was like, "Oh, she's so cute when she's angry." It was infuriating. But yeah.
I'm just happy
Stories
it's
of
not the
past
paladin who's
times
getting the world
aside.
orbiting around him so far.
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
that kind of a paladin.
Not that kind of paladin, yes.
That's what happens
Uh,
when you're a
Yes.
drunkard.
Indeed, indeed. can fix him. I can fix him. They're coming. They're coming. Anyway, meanwhile, shall we say, is there anything else you wish to explore? Or are you going to attempt to report back to your two dwarven companions? And
I think we should report back to
I see.
the other guys. Yeah.
So as you're making your way back to base, I hand the floor to our dwarven act.
Safe, old rat. What do you think would happen if we break the staff?
Oh, knowing me, I'll lose that bit, and I won't be able to walk anymore. I'd have to use the axe as a stick.
Right, you're an old cunt. What a shame that would be. Seems like it used to be quite the comfortable walking stick. I would have loved one of those during my years in the mountain peaks.
Oh, well, when you're my age, young'un, you'll get one. It's like having a third leg.
I already have my third leg, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you want one of them massages for your third leg, do you? The Golden Keep. Mwah.
I could really go for a massage now, huh? A dwarf always keeps at least one hammer close to heart. By the way, that airship you almost got on just on that tower next to the gate. Where was it headed anyway?
Oh, to be honest with you, I don't really know. Thomas was just saying, this is what we do. It's called, oh God, me memory. Oh, the Golden Dawn. Probably Iron Dominion or something, trading.
I won't say that sounds like a chore and a bore all in one. But then again, here we are, babysitting a walking stick.
Oh, it could be fun. We might run into our younger selves. Oh, I wonder if Dunbar's still up.
Dunbar? I hadn't thought of that, even though I suggested going through Pork Hill. Decent chance we'd run into Scavenger Torbren.
It's me own village. I was a village priest. I told stories about Ulfgard, that Serene, and that lovely fish. Oh, the murderous bastard. Anyway, the Avatar. My God, oh, what a guy. It was a lovely place, miners everywhere. Oh, days never finished.
Oh, I can already smell the dwarven meat and the hearty fires. Sometimes I miss those days. Regardless, Phineas Steelsprocket should probably also be at Park Hill.
Oh, I would love to be up for a little detour. He really seems on edge about the little stick here.
What, you want to go back to New Earth?
I want to go see if my home's still standing. I might run into Thomas.
Oh, well, I mean, with it mostly being on the way, it would be shit to not at least give it a try. Though, yeah, Lothar might be a little difficult to convince. Speaking of Lothar, how about we hide that little stick of yours, the tree over there, and tell them that it got taken away by a fox when we put it down for a minute. Can't imagine the look on Lothar's face.
How about I put it in my bag and we'll say Varney came, took it. That'd be quite funny. But I might be a fool, but I'm not letting out my sight.
If you put that stick in your back, won't it just stick out?
I'll rummage in my bag and just put it behind the pickaxe. It's like,
There we go, hidden.
Let's see what happens. So anyway, if this followers of yours joined, wouldn't we just slowly become the fellowship of the staff?
Oh, we would do. He'll go around saying, oh, my axe. That guy couldn't use it for shit. He couldn't. He'd throw it, miss the tree completely. All talk, no bark, no bite. Oh, I didn't say it. Oh, yeah, all bark, no bite.
Well, sometimes dumb confidence is all you need to scare off even the larger of threats.
Oh, so I've lived for so long.
I'm not surprised you all bark. My blunderbuss isn't named Avalanche for no reason either.
Oh, we need some ale. They're taking too long.
Let me check. I will grab my bag. I think I have some bitter brew in here that I could warm up. I'll just get this sort of little small closed wooden tiny little keg. And we'll just start a very small smokeless fire. A hand filled with a mug of bitter brew, and I will sit down next to a tree, just waiting for him to return, admiring just the winds blowing through the leaves, the trees.
And
Here you
then
go.
I'll enjoy the brew and just start rolling pebbles out in front of me and take the pickaxe and just start smacking them in half.
Very well.
That was so cool.
As the two dwarfs conclude their
This
shenanigans.
is a really good idea, by the way, to roleplay while
Absolutely.
party is a way
Yeah,
to through text. We should do that more.
The Fellowship
Yeah.
of the Walking Stick.
Fellowship of the Walking Stick.
New Adventures Guild name.
Yeah.
Indeed.
True.
And as the... I would say it's probably just about 2 hours. So I would imagine Voldres probably catches a nap unexpectedly. Though as
Yeah,
you
I put
sort of-
the axe back in front of the stick so it's hidden.
as you come to, you just are woken as Torbrun, with your passive perception, would be catching sight of two figures leaving the northern gate, making a beeline to your location, on the assumption you have not moved camp location.
No, we have not.
Indeed.
Would
And
I recognize them?
Yeah, you would recognize the silhouette of a egg-headed, rotund individual in shining armor and a beautiful-looking elven lady accompanying him.
While still sitting next to the tree, I was just sort of kick Voldred. Like, oi! I think they're back.
Oh, what? Oh, yeah, I'm awake.
Get up, you lazy arse.
Oh, what happened to the stick? Where's the science there? Okay, shh.
I would just sort of peek behind the tree and just sort of like little nudge towards Lothar and Ariel.
You might have been right. I think we can reasonably make it through the Golden Keep.
I told you.
So, I don't know,
The
Ariel,
year,
given
by
their...
the way, in case you are wondering, is 96 BR. She's
4
very
years
proud of herself for having noticed that.
4 years
year?
before,
Wait, so we're
And,
4 years past. So 4 years ago, you were a drunkard doing
and
fuck
5 years
all.
ago, and 6 years ago. Not so much 7 or 8 or 9, though. Those were better years.
I want to say you turned your life around, but here we are.
Well, I did, straight off a cliff.
So what's next?
Well, Lothar's about to quit drinking, at least this timelines. It's going to be interesting.
And I kind of made a promise that I'm going to perform at the bar.
So,
And have
Perform
dinner
how?
with a person, a duke. But yes.
Voldred, weren't we talking about a little massage earlier?
Oh, you little pit stop.
Please. I think the hammer needs some extra sharpening.
I think the safest approach would be to go in as 2 separate groups. I'm the bodyguard to our lovely elven lady here. You two are just a bunch of traveling dwarves that have nothing to do with the big red bearded person and
But we got you some things. And she produces the traveling cloaks and armor pieces.
The
enjoy.
Fellowship of the Walking Stick is complete.
Yes.
I'll put it on. I'll go,
Wait, where's the stick? Oh, no.
You
Which
can't be
stick?
serious. Which stick do
Yeah.
you think? You
Wait,
bald-headed
lost the
egg?
red- You
I
lost,
only had a
you
nap.
lost it already. Like, just plainly lost it.
Folder, you don't think that fox we saw earlier? I think we put this thing down for like a minute. We had some bitter brew. Folder took a nap.
And he just
Blimey.
starts. He just starts laughing a little bit bitterly. Well, Gleeball sure picked them this time, didn't he?
I just start like trying to hold back laughter.
Well, I guess that was a quick way to fail.
I will give Folder a little kick.
Oh, you mean
Okay.
this stick? Hallelujah.
Oh, you dumb cunt! So you did had it.
You two about done.
You should have seen the look on your face. Never gets old. If only you knew what's for breakfast tomorrow.
Yeah, probably some roasted potatoes, and I wonder if they have some roasted onions. I haven't had those in a while. That probably tastes like absolutely nothing. But
Well, I
yeah.
still have that bowl of mushrooms.
I will not be touching that. But
By the way,
Ariel,
I believe last session I rubbed some of those mushrooms somewhere on my hand. Did anything happen with that?
Let's just assume you've had like gloves on for this session. As you take
Mhm.
them off now, you can see like the skin is crinkled and rippled, like it's just drastically aged, like gone all leathery.
I guess we won't be eating the mushrooms.
Your hands look like
Gosh.
mine. Oh,
They
Jesus.
do look like Olga. They've got some antioxidant agents.
Does it look like his hands are damaged, like with Curing's magic help?
Possibly.
Okay, I'm gonna approach and cast Cure Wounds on your hands.
You can mark the spell off then, and
Yeah.
don't need to roll as you're at full health.
Yeah.
But you watch as your skin returns to normal.
Oh, I'm happy I didn't forget to check on that. Appreciate it. I will just sort of, I'll grab the bowl of mushrooms and I will put one mushroom into the little fire that I made for the bitter brew.
You guys immediately get this smell, this what was a previously smokeless fire, and just a burning dark green fire erupts on this for a good 10-15 seconds as the mushrooms or the mushroom that you put on shrivels up and goes straight to carbon, and as soon as it does, the green dissipates and it returns to its normal self.
yeah, that certainly does look safe to eat.
Do I just dispose of this?
I suggest you bury it and hope nobody finds it.
I'll
It
just sort
involves-
of dig into the ground with my boot and just a little hole in the dirt and just, I'll just shove them in there.
You plant some mushrooms. Fantastic.
I-
What could possibly
plant
go
them.
wrong?
Some mushrooms.
Is this the beginning of the Shoggoth arc? Who will know?
Oh my gosh.
From years from now.
Indeed.
So-
As we've reached that point, is there anything anyone wishes to do before we wrap up for this evening?
I'll put on the
I think
cloak
that's
that
it.
Ariel got.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Very well. So, with that, I would like you all to make a note on your character sheets, because this is the thing I will forget. The extra debuff that didn't come up because you had soup inflicted with a mortal cap. Your maximum
Mhm.
HP is currently temporarily halved,
Wow.
and this effect lasts
Do we just
until
half it now?
just make a note, because unless you get into combat in the next day, it will pass through your system.
Just go away, yeah.
But it's you currently only have half HP. You're at full health, but you're
Wow.
effectively only at half
Yeah,
HP.
it's our health is 20. mine anyway. Uh,
That makes mine
That's amazing.
16.
I do enjoy the fuck around and find out.
I
Yeah.
feel like Ariel still wants to try this random food that she is often served, but I don't know how long that's gonna last because most of the time it's been bad.
Well,
But I don't know. And the -2 wisdom, I think she's willing to be reckless about it for quite a while longer.
Indeed. Right, I'm going to stop the recording there.